Hello, this is William Michael from the Watt Hour. This week's podcast is a straight talk explainer on how made in USA battery cells protect mission readiness, harden supply chains, and keep national security from depending on PRC choke points, plus what the 2027 battery ban for DoD actually. Do you need batteries? Do you create power systems? Do you build autonomous systems across land, sea, air, and space? Then this episode is for you. Don't miss it.
This week's episode is Mission Insurance: Why Made in USA Cells Decide Who Wins. If your aircraft, drone, or radar van spins up on lithium ion, your mission is only as secure as the cell inside it. Today, I'm walking through why US-built battery cells aren't just patriotic, they're essential for mission readiness. In the next few minutes, I'll break down how global supply chains got tangled in Chinese dominance, what the new 2027 Department of Defense battery ban really means, and why American Lithium Energy's new GWH-class megafactory is a turning point for national energy security. By 2027, the Pentagon will be barred from buying batteries made in the People's Republic of China. That clock is ticking, and if we don't move fast, we'll find entire weapon systems grounded not by enemy fire, but by a supply chain failure. Every modern defense platform, whether it's an F-35, a hypersonic weapon, or a small reconnaissance drone, depends on lithium-ion batteries. These are not your car batteries. They're precision-engineered energy systems that decide whether a mission succeeds or fails. But here's the truth. For years, the United States has relied on Chinese and Korean manufacturers for the cells that power our aircraft, satellites, and communications gear. That dependence worked until geopolitics changed. China now controls over 70% of the world's lithium-ion battery supply chain, from raw materials and refining to the final cell manufacturing. That means every time we flip a switch in a U.S. military platform, odds are part of that energy chain runs through China. Let that sink in. In 2023, Congress passed legislation under the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, banning the use of batteries from China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran in Department of Defense applications, effective October 2027. That means defense contractors, Lockheed, Boeing, Raytheon, Northrop, can no longer buy Chinese-made cells. If they do, they lose contract eligibility. So now the defense industry faces a hard question. Where will the replacement capacity come from? That's where companies like American Lithium Energy, ALE, step in. AL's new U.S. megafactory in Vista, California, is purpose-built to close that gap. It's the only domestic facility of its kind capable of producing made-in-USA, ITAR-compliant lithium-ion cells at gigawatt-hour manufacturing scale. This factory isn't just a building, it's a strategic shield for America's energy independence. When your energy supply chain depends on your adversary, you've already lost half the battle. Every military planner knows it. Every logistics officer feels it. In peacetime, foreign dependence looks like efficiency. In wartime, it looks vulnerable. US-made cells mean no backdoor firmware, no counterfeit materials, no sudden export bans, and no geopolitical leverage hanging over critical systems. With American Lithium Energy's zero-volt technology and SafeCore architecture, our cells can be stored, shipped, and operated under extreme conditions without thermal runaway or degradation. That means batteries that can sit in storage at 0 volts for months, then deploy instantly. No other company in the world has this technology at commercial scale, and it's all engineered, built, and tested right here in America. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some will say, we can just keep buying from China until we catch up. That's not an option anymore. China has already tightened exports on key materials like graphite, essential for lithium-ion anodes, and has imposed licensing requirements for technology transfers. They can, at any moment, restrict supply to the US, Europe, and allies. The PRC doesn't see batteries as a market. They see them as a strategic lever, a way to exert control over global manufacturing, defense readiness, and even clean energy transitions. That's why America must invest not only in battery assembly, but in cell manufacturing itself. It's the difference between bolting together a system and owning the chemistry that powers it. And that's exactly what American Lithium Energy is doing, building cells from the atomic level up, right here at home. At American Lithium Energy's mega factory, we're scaling to meet that challenge. This isn't a concept, it's happening. Our facility is designed for multi-chemistry manufacturing, producing high energy and high power cells for defense, aerospace, and critical infrastructure. Here's what it means in numbers. Up to 1 gigawatt hour of annual production capacity, fully US made. 1860-50 and 21700 cylindrical and 14.5 amp hour and 19.5 amp hour pouch cells, engineered for performance, safety, and compliance. 0-volt and SafeCore technologies built into every cell, ensuring mission-critical resilience. The factory isn't just about volume, it's about control. Control over materials, design, quality, and readiness. It's where American engineers, veterans, and technicians are building the energy systems that will power the next generation of unmanned aircraft, directed energy weapons, and space systems. Think of it this way. Fuel won the 20th century. Energy storage will win the 21st. As electrification transforms every domain, land, sea, air, and space, the battlefield advantage will belong to those who control the flow of electrons, not just ammunition. From edge computing nodes to hypersonic platforms, every watt-hour matters. And the reliability of that watt-hour depends on who made the cell, where it was built, and under what standards. By expanding domestic cell production, American Lithium Energy is creating not just a product, but a national capability. It means the Department of Defense, NASA, and every prime contractor can source energy safely, securely, and without compromise. So when we talk about Made in America, it's not a slogan, it's survival. By 2027, the line will be drawn. Batteries built in adversarial nations will be off limits for defense and aerospace. That's a hard reset for an industry that has spent 2 decades offshoring its lifeblood. But with American Lithium Energy's mega factory, the U.S. is taking control again, cell by cell, pack by pack, mission by mission. Because in this new era of electrified warfare and autonomous systems, you don't win by outsourcing your power. You win by building it at home. Made in America or bust. Let's be blunt, energy is the new silicon. If microchips were the defining bottleneck of the last decade, power will define the next. Every major platform in the defense and aerospace ecosystem, from Group 1 through Group 5 unmanned aircraft systems, to electronic warfare kits, silent watch ground vehicles, shipboard power systems, space assets, and even hypersonic test infrastructure, all share one truth. Power is the hidden critical path. If that power source fails, you don't just lose a battery, you lose your mission window. That could mean a failed intercept test, a reconnaissance gap, a drone that never makes it home, or a radar array that goes dark right when you need it most. In modern warfare and aerospace operations, uptime equals dominance, and that uptime starts at the cell level, where chemistry, engineering, and trust all converge. This is where American Lithium Energy is laser-focused. Our mission is to make sure the men and women who depend on these platforms never lose power because of a compromised or unreliable cell. At our new American Lithium Energy gigawatt-hour scale mega factory in Vista, California, we're building the foundation of energy sovereignty, U.S. engineered cells for U.S. defense systems, made by American workers using secure, traceable materials. Now here's the part most people overlook. When we talk about supply chain security, it's not some vague policy phrase buried in a procurement document. It's the difference between a battery bill of materials that keeps you qualified for a defense contract or one that gets you disqualified because a single component traces back to a Chinese vendor.
And if that component fails in the field, good luck performing a post-mortem when the data trail ends halfway around the world. That's not just a quality risk, it's a national security blind spot. That's why at American Lithium Energy, we build everything with full transparency, full traceability, and full accountability from raw materials to final pack integration, because in the new defense economy, the supply chain is the battlefield. 0 0.5 seconds, 0 0.5 seconds.
Now let's talk about the policy shifts that changed everything. In the fiscal year 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, Congress finally drew a hard line in the sand. By fiscal year 2027, the Department of Defense cannot procure batteries produced by specific Chinese-owned entities. Let's translate that. If your power source, even one cell in your battery pack, comes from a blacklisted manufacturer, you're out. You'll have to redesign, requalify, and recertify your entire system if you want to stay eligible for Department of War contracts. This isn't about protectionism, it's about survival. We learned this lesson the hard way during the semiconductor shortage. Now it's happening in energy. On top of that, the Buy American ratchet just tightened again. Across federal procurement, domestic content thresholds keep rising, and the Department of War has raised its own standard. That means if you're just doing screwdriver assembly, bolting together imported cells, you're not compliant. The system now rewards true U.S. manufacturing. Factories like ours at American Lithium Energy, where cells are engineered, built, and tested on U.S. soil under ITAR and AS9100D controls. And here's where the real power play begins. DPA Title III, the Defense Production Act's Industrial Base Authority. 0.5s, 0.5s, the Pentagon is now actively investing in domestic energy storage and critical materials. 0.5s, 0.5s, they're not just talking, they're writing checks. 0.5s, 0.5s. These funds are flowing into projects that expand domestic mining, refining, and cell manufacturing capacity because the Department of War knows whoever controls the energy supply chain controls the operational tempo. 0.5s, 0.5s. So between the NDAA Buy American provisions and DPA Title III incentives, the direction is clear. 0.5s, 0.5s. The era of offshore energy dependence is closing. 0.5s, 0.5s. And American Lithium Energy's megafactory is part of the next chapter, onshoring energy security, one cell at a time. 0.5s, 0.5s. In October 2025, the People's Republic of China announced a new round of export controls that hit right where it hurts: battery manufacturing equipment, graphite anode materials, and other dual-use technologies. Those restrictions take effect November 8, 2025. If your production line relies on Chinese tooling, anode materials, or specialty electrolyte components, you're suddenly facing licensing delays, quota limits, or outright denials. This is not random policy. It's strategic choke point engineering. China has spent years building dominance across every stage of the lithium-ion value chain, from raw material extraction to cell production equipment. These export controls are a reminder. If they can't sell you the cells, they'll make sure you can't make them either. Even if your company claims we don't buy Chinese cells, if your tooling, your coating line, or your graphite feedstock originates in the PRC, you're still vulnerable. Throughput slows, spares disappear, expansion stalls. This is how supply chains collapse, not with one catastrophic event, but with a series of small, quiet denials that strangle capacity over time. And that's exactly why American Lithium Energy made a different choice.
Every element of our megafactory is designed for U.S. origin or allied supply chain independence. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. We work with American and trusted partner tooling, materials, and processes. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds, because we know that the next generation of deterrence isn't about who can deploy first. It's about who can keep deploying when the global trade winds shift. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. This is an energy war fought in slow motion, and America is finally fighting back. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds.
Why Made in USA cells is mission insurance. Let's call this what it is: mission insurance. When you build with Made in USA cells, you're not just buying batteries, you're buying certainty. Compliance by design. The goal isn't to chase waivers, it's to build cells that clear NDAA 2027 and Buy American gates on day one. No exceptions, no political exposure, no contract delays because someone discovers a PRC sub-tier supplier buried 3 layers deep. With American Lithium Energy, compliance isn't paperwork, it's baked into the engineering. Our cells are ITAR compliant, AS9100D certified, and designed from the ground up to meet the NDAA 2027 prohibition with zero waiver risk. Forensics and trust. Every electrode, electrolyte, separator, and tab in an American Lithium Energy cell has chain of custody documentation. That means if something goes wrong in the field, a cell anomaly, a battlefield recovery, or a thermal incident, you can trace it back to the batch, the machine, even the operator who built it. You can't get that from opaque overseas vendor stacks. You can't root cause a mystery supply chain. But with American Lithium Energy's full transparency model, you can. That's operational trust. Safety and performance for the mission, not the catalog. Commercial chemistries were never designed for minus 40 degrees Celsius launches, 50 high C discharge to 100 high C discharge bursts, or pulse loads driving directed energy systems. We build for that profile. Every American Lithium Energy cell is engineered for extreme thermal performance, high C discharges, and fast recharge cycles. We don't adapt consumer batteries to fit military duty cycles. We build defense cells from the chemistry up. That's how you avoid the compromise curve that kills performance in the field. Cyber physical integrity. Here's something few people talk about. The battery management system, and pack firmware are part of the cyber attack surface. What the 2027 ban means for programs. Practically, let's get practical. If you're flying, fielding, or prototyping anything that will enter production after fiscal year 2027, and your pack contains cells tied to a named PRC company, you have a problem. You need an alternate cell now. Qualification isn't fast. Safety testing, UN 38.3, IEC 62133, EMI/EMC, and airworthiness or spaceflight evidence, those take quarters, not weeks. That's why program managers who start qualification now will make the 2027 line. Those who don't will be rewriting schedules and budgets. Then there's the redesign tax. You'll need mechanical mods, terminal layouts, envelope adjustments, thermal path redesigns, new cooling plates, and fresh BMS calibration. You'll also need updated hazard analyses and qualification artifacts. That's work you can't compress. Next, procurement discipline. You've got to write your procurement language to require U.S. cell origin, traceable materials, and disclosure of tooling origins. Otherwise, you risk discovering a compliance landmine at full rate production when it's too late to change suppliers. 0.5s, 0.5s, and yes, budgeting matters. 0.5s, 0.5s. Domestic cells will carry a short-term cost premium, but you'll earn it back through lower failure rates, shorter lead times, and risk avoidance. 0.5s, 0.5s. Every canceled test event or delayed flight costs more than any unit price difference. 0.5s, 0.5s. Finally, the timeline reality check. 0.5s, 0.5s. The earlier you lock on a domestic cell roadmap, the easier it is to qualify across families, UAS, ground, shipboard, using shared data. 0.5s, 0.5s. That's how you de-risk entire portfolios, not just one platform. 0.5s, 0.5s. Here's your action playbook if you're managing programs or leading a prime contractor. Step 1, source audit. Map every cell you're using today against fiscal year 2027 restrictions and Buy American thresholds. Score them red, yellow, green by platform. Red means replace now. Yellow means dual path. Green means qualified and secure. Step 2, dual path now. Don't wait for certification to expire. Start domestic qualification in parallel with current production. That's your bridge strategy, It keeps programs on schedule and contracts safe. Step 3. Material sovereignty. Vet your vendors for non-PRC sources of graphite, cathode precursors, separators, and electrolyte salts. With the new PRC export controls, those materials can disappear overnight. Build redundancy before it's mandated. Step 4. DPA leverage. Tap into Defense Production Act. Title III programs. They exist to co-fund your scale-up. If you're qualifying with a U.S. manufacturer like American Lithium Energy, you're already aligned with the government's industrial base objectives. That opens the door to cost share opportunities and accelerated acquisition pathways. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. Step 5, contract language. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. Protect your future self. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. Write contracts that guarantee data rights for pack telemetry, full supplier disclosure, and mandatory notification if any sub-tier supplier changes. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. That's how you prevent hidden exposure to restricted entities later in the program lifecycle. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.
We already learned this lesson with semiconductors. Dependency breeds vulnerability. Now it's happening again with batteries. No electrons, no mission. You can have the best avionics, the best sensors, the best comms, but without power, it's all inert metal and dead silicon. The statutory ban is coming into force. Beijing is tightening exports. The window to adapt is closing. Hoping the old supply chain holds is magical thinking. The answer is straightforward, hard, and entirely doable. Build the cells here to our specs at scale with full traceability. That's how we protect pilots. That's how we keep satellites alive. That's how we make sure that when the commander says go, the platform actually goes. And that's why American Lithium Energy's mega factory isn't just a business milestone, it's national insurance against the next great energy crisis. The time to switch isn't 2027, it's now. It's now. This is William Michael. Thank you for watching and listening to this podcast. I am ready to fight tonight, are you? Are you merely all talk, or are you willing to take action now? If you are prepared to take action now, then reach out to me immediately so we can take action now. It's now. 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds. This is William Michael. Thank you for watching and listening to this podcast. I am ready to fight tonight, are you? Are you merely all talk, or are you willing to take action now? If you are prepared to take action now, then reach out to me immediately so we can take action now.